The Master, alongside the Daleks and Cybermen, is arguably one of the most iconic Doctor Who villains of all time. However, we're going to be taking a look at how, as of recently, the Master's characterization and character overall has been ruined. Before we get into the subject of today's video, I do want to preface that this is not the actor's fault that plays the Master. Every single actor who has portrayed the Master has done an incredible and fantastic job, so it is not a hate to them whatsoever. If you're not aware of who the Master is a fellow renegade Time Lord. They are the complete opposite of the Doctor in every single way. They're meant as a character foil for the Doctor. The first time we saw the Master was in the third Doctor's run, played by Roger Delgado. However, we're not going to be focusing on classic Who's Master or the movie Master. We specifically are taking a look at New Who's Master. We first see the Master in Series 3, played by Derek Jacobi. He's playing the Time War version of the Master who ran away from the Time War and used his fob watch to conceal his identity. In this incarnation of the Master's first appearance, we see him regenerate into probably the most iconic version of the Master, at least for New Who, which is John Simm's version.
Appropriate. Still, if the Doctor can be young and strong, then so can I. Master.
John Simm's Master despised the Doctor, and during his run there was a focus on a noise in his head and him being just insane. This is also one of the most ruthless Masters we've seen put to screen. He turns the Doctor into an old man, and he takes over the entire world. After a year of ruling the world, he only ends up getting stopped by Martha Jones, and then he gets shot by his companion slash life partner. It's at this point that the Master refuses to regenerate, to get back at the Doctor, to cause him harm, so he doesn't win. This whole scene is a very emotional scene. At that point in the show, there was a huge emphasis on the Doctor being the last Time Lord, so this was a really big moment for the show.
In your arms. Happy now? You're not dying, don't be stupid. It's only a bullet, just regenerate. No. One little bullet, come on. I guess you don't know me so well. I refuse. Regenerate. Just regenerate. Please, please, just regenerate, come on. I'll spend the rest of my life imprisoned with you. You've got to, come on.
And the Master dies, but if anybody knows the characterization of the Master, they know he wouldn't throw his life around that, so he does eventually end up coming back. In the classic series, there was a huge emphasis on him trying to gain regenerations and lives, and even in the movie he does this. The next time we see the Master is in David Tennant's last episodes, and here, again, he plans to take over the world. He makes everybody him. Everybody can hear the noise in his head, and the Time Lords even end up returning. Rassilon and the Time Lords are able to do this because of the noise in his head, pulling them through. But that's a really confusing thing for a very confusing video down the line. Over these two episodes, it tries to emphasize the Master's insanity for the noise in his head, and even a facial deformity where the Master got brought back but didn't get brought back properly, so his face keeps flickering from a skull to his regular face. And trust me, we're really not going to talk about if I like that addition, but it's a great characterization that, you know, he's a bit mad. He's also incredibly angry at the Time Lords in this scene for what they've done to him. The next time we see the Master is the first time the Master is portrayed by a woman, and this time the Master is called Missy, played by Michelle Gomez. The insanity of the previous Master and humour is kept there, and you can definitely tell that it's a continuation from that. But what I like about this is that this Master has a character arc here, a genuine character arc, and more importantly, a character development. The character develops from the regular Master to a really sympathetic character who wants to side with the Doctor. I want to stress that Missy is the Master down to her core. She goes from being a very cruel character, turning Clara's boyfriend into a cyberman, to sympathizing with the Doctor, being good and trying to be good. And really, that's her whole character arc across Series 10. However, in regards to this, a spanner is thrown in the works when John Simm's Master returns in the finale of Series 10. And he is responsible for turning the Doctor's companion at the time, Bill Potts, into a Cyberman. We get this incredible dynamic where the Master, John Simm's Master, is evil down to his core. He doesn't sympathize with the Doctor, he doesn't care. He just wants to get away and go off to do more horrible things. Where Missy, she fluctuates from being pure evil to being good and helping the Doctor. She's in two minds, literally. And this is where the 12th Doctor gives one of his best speeches, and you can see it resonates with Missy before she lets him go. She leaves, because again, she's in two minds. She's always been bad, and she doesn't know how else to act here. Later on in the episode, she kills John Sims' master and tries to go back for the doctor, before John Sims' master laser screwdrivers her in the back, killing her.
Into you.
Welcome to the Sisterhood.
Missy. Seriously. Why?
Oh. Because he's right. Because it's time to stand with him. It's where we've always been going, and it's happening now, today. It's time to stand with the Doctor.
No. Never.
This is such a poetic and sad scene. Missy dies via her previous incarnation, the Master, and the Doctor will never know that she tried to be good. She did the right thing, and she turned back for him, and the Doctor will never know the tragedy of this arc. And in my opinion, this is where the Master's story should end. Trying to do the right thing, but getting killed by her own incarnation. And I think that's a really great ending for the Master. Their character development leaded up to this very moment, and it was executed incredibly. So when the Master was brought back in Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor's run, played by Sacha Dhawan, it felt a bit hollow for me. For me, I think this stems from John Sims' Master being so hateful and cruel because of the Time War and other events, and that leading into Michelle Gomez's performance of Missy. But with Missy, Missy evolves. Missy slowly becomes good, to then bounce into Sacha Dhawan's own Master, where he's completely evil again, and the recent character development is completely forgotten. And don't get me wrong, I think Sacha Dhawan's Master is great. He is the Master, and I don't think it's anything to do with him or how he portrayed the Master. It's great. He did what he was given really well. But for me, I feel like the writing lets it down here. We completely ignore the previous character development of the Master, which made Missy such an interesting character. So that's why one of the reasons that I hope this is a previous incarnation, not a future incarnation. Because I personally believe that the Master should end with Missy and that character development. Otherwise, we've just completely ignored a whole Master's tenure, basically. But of course, that's not the only thing that, for me or other people, ruined the Master. For a lot of people, it's also the fact that the Master is quite an overused character. In quite a similar vein to the Daleks and Cybermen, they're constantly there. The Master is constantly the big bad of an episode, or more importantly, a season finale. Which for a lot of viewers of the show ruined the impact when the Master would show up. A lot of people went from being excited and happy when the Master showed up, to being a bit like, okay, why is the Master here? In my personal opinion, I think these are really easy fixes to have, and of course I'm not a Doctor Who writer, so I don't claim to be, but I feel like they're really easy to fix. Not having the Master show up constantly, and having them at least address the Master's good side and redemption arc. But from the Master being teased with John Sims' laugh in the giggle, I don't think that's the route they're going down.